God Stories from the Streets with Salty Farm Ministries. And as you can see, we've got another round of kiddos. I guess not really kiddos. You probably don't want to be called kiddos, but young adults with us this week in the streets. And so this group is a group of incoming seniors from First Baptist Church in Josephine, Texas. So JL's had fun talking about Texas all week, the big state of Texas, and they always do it bigger in Texas and all of that. So it's been fun to have them here this week. And so we're just going to jump in with what their experience has been like this week and the God stories that came out of this week's mission trip. They have partnered with Salty Farm Ministries. They partnered with The Ark, and then also Five Bridges Church this week. So you're going to hear stories from maybe all of the experiences because God is moving here in Panama City Beach through a lot of awesome churches and organizations. And so, we ready?
Yep.
All right. So if you guys just want to introduce yourself, and then, like I said, just kind of what you anticipated coming down here, and then we'll jump into it. Fair? All right.
Hello, I am Dylan Testa. We're all going to the senior class, as she stated. But basically what I thought whenever we came down here, I thought that we were going to meet a whole lot of brokenness, and we were going to have to piece it all together. It's basically what I thought. But we didn't realize I didn't look into Salty Farms before we came here. I wasn't, I guess, set up or well-equipped. But they did amazing. Like, these people were amazing. They were, like, it's just not what you expect when you hear homeless, where they call it friends. They call it friends. These are people who love God, who want to get better. Like, these people are just amazing, and, like, I don't know how else to say it. But it was just amazing coming down here, and I was totally wrong about my expectations. Completely wrong.
Well, thank you, Dylan.
Hi, I'm Addie. I'm also an incoming senior, like we've all said. But I think coming down here, I expected, like Dylan said, to experience a lot of brokenness, to see a lot of people struggling in their faith, that they didn't know who God was, and we were going to have to share with them and tell them. But they all already knew. Like, they knew who God was, and that was their right-hand man, as a lot of them that I talked to. God was everything to them, and a lot of them had stronger beliefs than most of us here from the church. And so regardless of their situation, they still were very positive, and there was no brokenness at all. Everyone was happy, and everyone was so grateful that we were here. And I was expecting to just, come do some work, and just that was really what I thought. We were just going to do some work, and that was going to be it. I didn't feel like we were going to have much of an impact because they wouldn't care, but they cared so much more than I thought they would have. They respected all of us. They loved that we were from Texas. They loved hearing that we were from somewhere else that's not here.
Yeah.
And they all just loved it, and they were all so grateful. And when we were serving at the Ark, when we were serving food, everyone was, again, so thankful. They were all just like, thank y'all so much for being here. They all wanted to talk to us. They wanted to hear about Texas. They wanted to hear about our church and what was different. And there was no brokenness at all, and they all knew who God was, and they were all so grateful and thankful for all of us just being here the whole week.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So my name is Mary. I'm also an incoming senior. When we first got here, I really didn't know what we were walking into. I kind of didn't really have an idea. I was just ready to be there and to help. But I've talked to a lot of them, and it is so special hearing their stories and their walk with God. And it was just really special and really emotional. I've cried a bunch of times being here because we don't really realize how much we take for granted until you're talking to them and just kind of seeing how they're living, their journey and everything. And it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Peyton. I'm also an incoming senior. I expected just a lot of brokenness. Like we got explained earlier this week, that homelessness is a stereotype. I believe that. And after talking to them, I realized how sweet of a person they are. And they're sweeter than some people I know who have a home, have a house, and have family. And they're amazing people. Like, you just need to take time to get to know people. And just working with them and experiencing everyone is just a lot of emotions, and I'm really grateful I got to work with them this week.
Yeah. So Mary, you said, just hearing the stories And that's one thing we always encourage anybody that comes to serve is to get beyond the, don't judge a book by its cover, but really get to know a person. So have any of you guys had any conversations, experiences, or stories that you've heard this week that you're going to hang on to for a while? And then what was the impact, and, kind of what are you taking away from that?
If I had to think of a moment or a time I was speaking with somebody and they said something, I would think back to, I can't remember his name. He's an amazing guy. He used to play college football, and he really inspired me just to live in the moment and take what I had and use it to give out to the world, basically. Not just to hone it in myself and just here I am bragging about myself, just to use what I have and the mindset that we all have, and that we can just flip this switch or whatever, and just to give it out to everybody. Make everybody, don't be the best out on the court, have the best team. Have the best team on the field or whatever. Don't just use it for yourself. And that was kind of like the biggest moment I think I'll use in my life. It really touched my heart, and this guy was amazing. I just can't remember his name, but he was an awesome guy.
That's awesome.
I had a conversation with a lady named Becky, and she told me a lot about her life before, because when she met, that was her first time at Salty Farms ministry. And so I just introduced myself to her and we talked, and she has been through a lot, and she had a lot happen to her, and she started talking about her kids, and I started asking her, I was like, well, where are your kids located? And her kids are located in Alabama. But she knew everything about them. Still, they were living with her sister, but she knew everything about them. Like, there wasn't a thing that she didn't know. She told us everything she knew about them, but she said that she doesn't talk to them directly because of certain things that have gone on, and she doesn't want to tell them things that their father has done to her mother. She just wants them to live their life, a life that she's not able to give them, and she wants to wait till they're old enough to be able to make their decisions. And hearing that, it really changed a lot of my perspective to be grateful for my family, to be grateful that I'm able to live in a house with my family and be able to do stuff. My brother's here on this mission trip with us, and so I'm super grateful that I'm able to have this experience with him. And I'm going to work better on not taking things like that for granted for my family, being able to be together and be one. And because she really inspired me, because she still has such a big smile on her face. She was not sad about anything. She knew about God. She knew all the worship songs that were coming on. Like, she knew everything. And just hearing her story, it made me really realize that there's some moments where I have not been the most grateful or the nicest to my family. And so I want to be better and realize the blessing that it is to have my family all together. And so I think that was something.
So I didn't speak with this person directly, but while we were at the Ark, they had people stand up and kind of tell what was going on in their life that week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember her name, but she stood up and she said, "This is the last Tuesday without having my girls." And she was so excited because she was going to have her girls, and she had 4 girls, and they were all under the age of 12. And just seeing her smile and just talking about how she didn't have them and how excited she is to see them, that just made me realize how grateful I am to live with my parents, like Addie said, and be with my siblings every day, and definitely not take that for granted, because she was just so happy. That is the biggest smile I think I've ever seen come off of a person before.
That's awesome.
I met this person at Salty Farms the first night we were there. I never got his name. He didn't tell me his name. I asked him his name 3 times. He didn't tell me. I'm just so sidetracked with the story, and I'm very appreciative of the story. But I remember he was wearing a green shirt that night. He was there actually last night. We served. Where did we serve last night?
Up 231.
Yeah,
It's
516.
so that's our newest location. It's up the street, but it's when you're on foot, it's a little ways up the street, but yeah. But yeah.
But he was there last night also. I didn't get to talk to him or say hi to him. He got his food, he ate, and he left. So I was like, hey, he's on a mission. But I was talking to him, and he told me he was at a church one night to get food, and the lady, one of the people who were serving him said that he needs to have a better attitude. And after he was talking to me, I was like, he doesn't even have a better attitude. He has a better attitude than me. He said the only thing you can do in life is have a good attitude and be blessed. He said, I'm more blessed than you. I have all this help and everything going on for me. He's like, I don't know what your life is like, but I'm guessing you live in a home, you have a family, you have food. And he said, I don't have that, but I have all these people around me. I just, like, that blew my mind. Like, if I was in his place, I think, I don't know what I would do. I don't think I would make it past the next day. I would just be constantly worrying, what am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? Where am I going to shower? Like, constantly things running in my mind. And I'm always worrying about things. I do struggle with anxiety, and it's definitely gotten better. Like, through this trip, I was really worried about it. We got down here, and I was like, there's nothing for me to worry about. Like, I have my life, I guess I'm 17 years old, and I have so much to figure out. But there's someone else on the streets who have nothing except someone with a truck and a shower and food. And it just makes me really happy. I also talked to Becky a little bit, and she said, she was telling me, she's like, I was worried about what I'm going to wear tomorrow, but they gave me clothes. And she said, but God says not to worry about tomorrow.
Yes.
And I was like, that's crazy. We wrote like Bible verses for them on a note card. And she actually got my verse. I don't remember what verse it was, but it was something about not worrying about tomorrow. I was like, that's crazy. Like, it blew my mind. I was really happy about that. I was like, God's really moving in people and around me and what I need to give to people and serving people in the right way.
That's awesome. Yeah. So to follow up with some of the things that you guys said, Dylan, when you said it's about the team and, and what we have, make sure we give, to others and not hold on to it. Some of my favorite moments out in the streets is when we get the one person that shows up when everything is cleaned up and we have nothing left, like we've given it all out. And so then you feel like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And we don't do anything, but a friend on the street is always there that has taken extra because we were giving out extra, and they will every time pull out of their bag whatever they have for later, they give to whoever needs it now, and just that kind of mindset and heart of giving. You wouldn't think that a generous heart would be found in people that have nothing. And so, it's kind of like what you were saying, Peyton, of just, worrying about the next or being so grateful for the little that we have. And you're right, like all of you guys, the things that we take for granted in our life is just, it's mind blowing. But then when you go out, and what amazes me all the time is the amount of joy that they have in spite of not having all the things, and I think we all could take a page out of that book and take with us. So is there any kind of thing that just really shifted your perspective of what you thought either serving in the streets might be like, what homelessness was like? You guys kind of shared that you had a kind of a perspective shift, but like, what did you think then and what do you think now? And what would you maybe tell other people that might be thinking what y'all thought later, earlier? Does that make any sense? That was like a lot of words.
Sorry.
But okay.
If Addie wants to kick it off.
Let me figure out how to word this real quick. I think just like coming into this, not really from my perspective, but I guess just for people who haven't experienced much homelessness or our friends haven't experienced them. Something that happens in Dallas a lot is those people get judged a lot. And it really hurts my heart when I was talking to a lot of them, they were super surprised that we were talking to them normally, that we weren't talking to them like they were trash or they were just completely broken like we talked about, or just like animals. Like they had so much respect for us because we respected them as humans, regardless of your situation, their situation, the differences, because there's still people that will consistently be higher than you, and so they could treat you the same, but you always have to start somewhere. And regardless of where they are in their life, they're willing to start again with God. And I think that it was a big eye-opener that people treated them so differently, that people treated them like they just weren't people, and it really hurt because they are people regardless of what's going on in their life, regardless of where they live. If they don't live anywhere, if they don't have clothes or they don't have food for that night, like none of that matters at all. It matters how you treat them. And so I think for people going out there, like me and my family, we have homeless bags in our car. And so if we see someone on the side of the street in Dallas or something, we just pull out a bag. We have boys and girls. We just pull out one and give it to them. It has a few things in it. I think that would be a great thing for people who see homelessness but haven't done much and you don't know where to start. That would be a great thing because these people are grateful for anything.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm super grateful to get that experience as well, and to know and being able to show them that they are not trash or just people or animals on the street, because they are people and they have feelings and they have a relationship with God. And there's a verse, I think it's in Luke, that talks about how can you judge what's not yours? We are God's creation and we cannot judge something that is not ours. And we need to love everyone as our neighbor and love each other as one, because we are all here because of God and we are all chosen to be here. No one on earth is here because they're not supposed to be. God wants everyone here. And so I think that that's an important thing for everyone, including us. And this has been a very eye-opening thing to be able to treat people and show them that they are not what other people have told them to be and that they are much more. And so I think that was a great thing this week.
Awesome. Will you share what you put in your blessing bags? So if
And-
anybody else wants to replicate that.
In our blessing bags, we get just little fanny packs from like Dollar Tree, Dollar General. You can even go to Walmart. We get little travel size shampoo and conditioners, body wash, and then we put some snacks, like whatever you want that's not going to expire soon, because we've had them in our bags or in our cars for a while. And then we also do little dog food bags. We do probably just a gallon Ziploc of dog food because there's a lot of people who have dogs for company and stuff, and so we do dog food. And then for women, we do like the hygiene products, and then we do little combs, we do rubber bands, I think we put some fun socks in there, just fun design socks. And I think we maybe put we do some sort of like game or activity or something in there, like a super small puzzle or some like notepad or something, just for something for them to do. So we do stuff like that.
Awesome. Go ahead.
So when I was younger, I didn't really see homeless people a whole bunch,
Mhm.
unless I was when I was really young, because I used to live in Dallas. But I remember me and my grandma, we'd go to church every Sunday, and when we were on the highway and stuff and stopping at the lights, if we saw someone holding up a sign, we'd always stop and give them money. And so that's kind of became a habit if I have cash on me or not, to start doing that, because I never really thought about it. And after this trip and meeting these people and being one-on-one with them and just really getting to know what being homeless is like, it's changed everything for me, because we would just see someone on the street and be like, oh, we need to give them money. But now really listening to them and stuff, and kind of like what Addie said about the verse, there's a verse I've read, and it's Romans 8:18, and it's if God is all you have all you need. And that's really true for these people. They will talk about Jesus all day.
Yep.
And it's so inspiring, and it definitely makes me need see that I need to read my Bible a lot more, because they know so much and it's so special.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. There's a lot. Just seeing these people and they have so little, but they have so much. And I feel terrible for having the mindset that I had. When we went to the Ark, and we met some amazing people. They were so sweet, and we saw them today, some of them today, and they were working outside. And I was like, I'm complaining about working outside, and I'm here to serve the Lord, and it's hot, and it's whatever, but there's people out there walking from point A to point B, last night, they had to go all the way up the road.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why am I complaining? I have everything I need in the world. I almost cried because how ungrateful I felt. I was like, I need to change my mindset to how they have their mindset. I'm just there's so much emotion. I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like if you really wanted to experience this, you need to come out in the street, and you need to serve people, and you need to have a service with them. And it's just so amazing hearing people, all these stories.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as you were talking about the joy between everybody, it is sometimes a lot of us, I feel I could speak for most of us, we deal with selfishness. And it's one of those things that these people they don't really care. They just want to present themselves as something better. They wish that they could just be the best for us whenever they have nothing. Like literally, like they don't have very much, and we have everything in the world, and here we are. We sit here and we be selfish, like looking at ourselves, being like, oh well, if I can't do this, I can't do that. But these people will go out of their way and try to do almost anything to me, and that sticks out to me a lot. And kind of what Mary was saying is like how she sees people out on the streets like giving money, and you may just stop for a second and like give them some money or give them some cash or whatever. But it's one thing to do that, and then one thing to like take some time out of your day just to meet that person and see what they are struggling with. Like, and I feel like that's a big challenge. Most of us are usually going throughout our day and you're just like go, 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 and you don't have any of that time. And then maybe you have some time later on and you're like, well, what am I going to do now? Instead, like, make some time out of your day to meet that person, see who they are, like, why are they there. And I'm sure like some of the stories out there are just, they're incredible to hear. They may be doing it just for themselves. They may have plenty of money and they just want to be out there and just trying to find a good like headspace. I think that's what I kind of get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, people long for connection. You know, God created us to be in community, to be connected to one another. And so, you know, we have so many friends that, you know, you think you're going out and you're serving a meal and you're providing showers and you're giving clothes and all of that. But the impact is in the conversation. It's in the interaction. It's in the relationship. It's that human-to-human connection versus some kind of transaction of, yes, they need their needs met, but they also want to belong, you know. And that's how all of us are. You know, that's how God created us, was to be in community with one another. And so I can promise you that the interactions that you've had throughout the week has impacted, and they'll be talking about y'all, you know, for a long time. And they won't forget, because these kind of things, you know, if you think about the stories that you heard and the, you know, the sad parts and the hard parts and the things that made you emotional, you know, that's their everyday. You know, they are cast aside most of the time, and people don't talk to them, people don't look at them, people don't stop, you know. And so when people do, it makes a really, really big difference. And so you guys have all been a huge blessing this week. And I'll share a story, a connection between Salty Farm Ministries and the Ark. So actually there's a couple, but I don't know, did any of you guys meet William on Monday night? He was a volunteer with us. Really, really tall, had a church has left a building shirt on.
Yeah, maybe.
So William used to come out in the streets, only came for the meal, did not want to hear the gospel, did not want to talk about Jesus, nothing. But the Lord started softening his heart, and then he'd stay a little bit longer and stay a little bit longer. And then last February, we got to baptize him. And then his life just started radically changing, because not only did he just believe in Jesus, but he really wanted to live for Jesus. And so he was changing things about his life. And he had lived in a vehicle for a long time. And we had asked for a long time, like, can we get you into anywhere? Would you consider going anywhere to live? And he's like, nope, I'm good with my vehicle. And you all know we're going to be building a tiny home community. And we even asked, like, would you come and live there? He's like, nah, I'd probably park my vehicle in the parking lot. But he's like, no, I'm good. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this man's going to live forever in his vehicle. But he was content, and that was okay for him. But then God just kept softening his heart, and now he lives at the Ark. So even when when he got baptized, he started serving, and he became a volunteer with Salty Farm Ministries, and then now lives at the Ark. So he would have been there Tuesday night, so you would have seen him Tuesday night, but he still comes out and serves with us and does that. And so we've had several friends come off the streets that have gone into the Ark. And so, yeah, we work very closely, you know, with the Ark, working together to just meet needs right here in the community. And so I'm so glad you guys kind of got both sides of that experience, to see them, you know, like on the streets, but then also see them come off the streets. You know, because our heart is not to keep people on the streets. You know, yes, we're going to keep going out into the streets, but you know, they want and we want something more, you know, for their lives. So All right, well, is there any last thoughts that you all would like to share with anybody that's listening from your experience this week?
I think I got it all out.
Got it all? All right. All right, well, thank you all for tuning in to the Salty Talk with us this week, and just praying for safe travels as you all go back to Texas. And like we say, don't leave your mission work here. Life, live life on mission. And so take a little bit of Salty Farm back to you, or back with you, to Josephine, Texas. So we say it's more than a mission, it's a movement, because we want the heart of Salty Farm Ministries to just go everywhere. And so if you're wondering how you can get involved with Salty Farm Ministries, just go to our website, and you can go to the Get Involved tab and see all the ways that you can partner with us, no matter where you're at in the country or even in the world, and just make a difference in somebody else's life. And wherever you're at, just go be the light that other people need and show the love of Jesus right in your communities. Maybe it's start doing blessing bags, or maybe it's giving money, or maybe it's just stopping and having a conversation, but we can all serve and love others right where we're at. So we encourage you to do that, and have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.